each hold a possible trap. Armin understood the stakes as he led his team deeper into the vessel. Their movements were cautious but decisive, each member aware that hesitation could cost lives. The crew of the Horizon clung to hope, inspired by the skill and bravery of the shadows that had descended upon them. In one small hold, a young sailor huddled with trembling hands, whispering prayers he barely understood. Armin caught his eye and offered a reassuring nod, a silent promise of protection. Courage, he understood, often came in whispers and quiet moments, not just in action and command. The sailor felt a surge of strength, a tiny flame ignited by the presence of those willing to risk everything for him. Malik and Leo moved to clear another corridor, encountering pirates attempting to regroup. The engagement was swift, silent, and merciless in its efficiency. The team neutralized the threat without harm to the hostages, each member executing their role with exacting precision. It was a dance of death and protection, choreographed by training, trust, and the unspoken understanding of the stakes involved. The first encounter had tested them all. Fear, courage, strategy, and instinct collided in a crucible of adrenaline and necessity. The crew of the Horizon had glimpsed salvation, fragile but tangible, in the form of the shadows that moved through their ship with purpose. The pirates had learned the cost of underestimating those who came prepared, skilled, and determined to protect life above all else. As the smoke cleared and the team regrouped, Armin assessed their progress. The first objective had been accomplished. Hostages were located, immediate threats neutralized, and the team positioned for the next phase. Yet he knew this was only the beginning. The storm was far from over. More challenges awaited, more dangers lurked in the ship's labyrinthine corridors, and the true test of skill, courage, and humanity had only just begun. Above, the Horizon's crew clung to hope, their faith reinforced by the presence of those who had descended into the darkness for them. Captain Navarro's voice carried reassurance, strength, and gratitude. The young sailor with the photograph clutched it tighter, no longer just a symbol of home, but a reminder of resilience and survival. The boarding was complete. The first encounter survived. The storm had begun in earnest, and the shadows of the rescue team moved like ghosts through the ship, bringing with them the promise of life, courage, and the unwavering pursuit of salvation. The corridors of the Horizon were narrow, steel corridors lined with the faint scent of diesel and fear. The rescue team moved with a fluid precision, each step deliberate, each heartbeat synced to the rhythm of the mission. Commander Armin Rizal led the team, his gaze scanning every shadow, every corner, every detail that could conceal danger. The ship was alive with tension. Each metallic creak, each muted footstep, each whisper of movement heightened the stakes. Lives were balanced precariously, and every decision carried the weight of mortality. Hostages huddled together in the stern of the ship, fear etched into their faces, yet a glimmer of hope had begun to seep in. They saw the shadows moving with calm authority, saw the disciplined precision of the team, and realized that help had arrived, not as an abstract hope, but as flesh, skill, and courage. Captain Navarro moved among them, his voice steady, a lifeline in the storm of panic. "You are safe. Hold on to that. Trust in those who have come to guide us. Courage is not absence of fear. It is action despite it." In the corridors ahead, the first wave of pirates had been neutralized, but the next was waiting, regrouping, trying to restore control. Malik Hassan moved forward, clearing the hallways with lethal precision, while Leo Torres covered the rear, his nerves controlled through a focused resolve he did not yet fully understand he possessed. Sarah monitored their movements, guiding them with exacting detail, interpreting every subtle sound and shift in the ship's structure. They were invisible yet decisive, shadows that struck with unerring accuracy. A sudden noise echoed through a passage, metal scraping against steel, a whisper of movement too deliberate to be accidental. Armin signaled the team to halt. They pressed against the walls, breathing measured, listening. Ahead, two pirates were attempting to force a crew member into compliance, their faces hardened, hands unyielding. The hostage, a young man, trembled, unable to move. His eyes met Armin's through a small gap in the corridor, and for a brief instant, an unspoken connection passed between them. This was a life he could save, and he would not hesitate. Malik moved first, silent and decisive, neutralizing the closer pirate with a clean, precise maneuver. Leo followed, tackling the second, their actions swift and calculated. The young sailor froze, terror-stricken, yet the mere presence of these disciplined shadows gave him courage. He stumbled to the side, shielding his face, but for the first time, hope seeped into his awareness. Captain Navarro, observing from above, understood the subtle balance of fear and courage. He realized that heroism was not always dramatic. It often came in small acts, quiet and precise, that prevented tragedy before it could unfold. He whispered encouragements to his crew, steadying them in the midst of chaos. One young woman, her hands shaking as she gripped a railing, looked at Navarro. "Will we make it?" she asked, voice trembling. "We will," he replied, "because we are not alone." The team advanced further into the ship, every corridor a potential trap, every door a possible confrontation. The pirates had begun to realize that their control was slipping. Panic edged into their movements, mistakes became more frequent, and their confidence wavered. But they remained dangerous, desperate, willing to do anything to retain dominance. In one small cargo hold, Armin and his team found a family huddled together. A father held his child close, shielding her from the chaos, his own fear hidden behind a mask of determination. Armin approached, kneeling to speak quietly. "You are safe now. Stay down, follow our instructions, and we will get you out." The father nodded, tears welling in his eyes, gratitude and fear mingling in a complex, raw emotion. The child clung to her father, her small fingers grasping at him, unaware fully of the danger, yet feeling the presence of protection in Armin's calm, unwavering gaze. The pirates regrouped, attempting another surge, but the rescue team anticipated it. Flashbangs were deployed with careful timing, disorienting the attackers, giving the team a critical edge. Each strike was measured to minimize harm to hostages, a reminder that the team's mission was not vengeance, but preservation of life. The pirates fell back, their morale faltering under the calculated assault. Malik moved through the corridors, checking each door, ensuring no hostage was left behind. He came across a young sailor, frozen in fear, clutching a photo of a loved one. Malik crouched beside him, speaking quietly. "You're safe now. Stay with us." The sailor nodded, a shaky exhale escaping him. He followed, guided not just by instruction, but by the quiet strength of someone who had chosen to protect rather than harm. Leo covered the rear, his heart still pounding, yet steadying as he realized the difference his presence made. Each action, each decision, each step forward was a thread woven into the tapestry of survival. The young sailor looked at him, eyes wide with a fragile hope, and Leo understood that courage, once sparked, could grow even in the smallest hearts. Captain Navarro guided the crew towards safer zones, his calm authority a beacon amid the chaos. He understood that leadership was not simply command. It was presence, reassurance, and the ability to inspire courage where fear had taken root. Every crew member was connected, each action of the rescue team reinforcing their faith in survival. The team encountered another group of pirates in a narrow hallway. The confrontation was swift. Moves were executed with precision, each strike neutralizing the threat without harming any hostages. Sarah's coordination ensured no one was exposed, her calculations turning the chaos into controlled precision. The pirates' attempts to regain control faltered against the combined skill and determination of the rescue team. Armin paused briefly, taking stock of their progress. Hostages were secured, immediate threats neutralized, and the team's position reinforced. Yet he knew the operation was far from complete. Each encounter revealed the depth of human fear and resilience, the fragility and strength of life in a place where danger lurked in every shadow. The team reached the bridge, where the pirates' leader was attempting to assert control. He was older, hardened, experienced, yet his confidence faltered when confronted with the precision and calm of the rescue team. Armin approached with authority, his gaze unflinching. The pirate hesitated, caught between aggression and survival, his mask of menace cracking under the weight of a mission carried out with unwavering purpose. A standoff ensued. Words were exchanged, brief but tense, revealing the desperation of the man who had chosen a path of violence. Armin's presence was commanding, yet not cruel, a reflection of the team's mission: protection over retribution, preservation over destruction. The pirate's resolve weakened, the futility of his actions laid bare. Outside, the Horizon's crew watched the progression of the mission. Each successful maneuver by the team above and below decks strengthened their resolve. Fear still lingered, but it was tempered with trust, with the realization that they were no longer alone, that courage had arrived to guide them through the storm. The young sailor clutched his photograph tighter, his heartbeat synchronizing with the rhythm of the team's movements. He understood, in a deep, instinctive way, that survival was not simply a matter of escape. It was the courage to endure, to act, and to trust in others willing to risk everything for life. Malik moved through the corridors one final time, confirming the neutralization of threats, ensuring the hostages were safe. Each step was a testament to discipline, courage, and the human capacity to protect in the face of danger. Leo's hands no longer trembled, his fear transformed into a quiet strength born of action and necessity. The first phase of the operation concluded. The team had successfully confronted the pirates, secured the hostages, and established control of key areas. The emotional intensity of the moment lingered, a combination of relief, exhaustion, and the raw awareness of human fragility and strength. Captain Navarro gathered the crew in a safe zone, his voice calm, steady, and filled with gratitude. "You have survived, you have endured, and you have seen courage in action. Remember this, carry it with you, and let it guide you through whatever comes next." Armin's team regrouped, acknowledging the emotional weight of their actions. They had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty, yet their purpose had remained clear. They had protected life, preserved hope, and confronted the harsh reality of human aggression with skill, precision, and unwavering humanity. The horizon was quiet for now. The storm of confrontation had been weathered, but the tension remained, a reminder that danger was never fully gone. The crew, inspired by the courage they had witnessed, prepared for the next phase, strengthened by the knowledge that bravery could manifest in both small and monumental ways. The rescue team moved silently through the ship, ensuring safety, guiding the crew, and preparing for the inevitable challenges that lay ahead. The first encounter had tested their skills, their courage, and their humanity. It had revealed the power of hope, the fragility of life, and the profound impact of deliberate, compassionate action in moments of chaos. The shadows of the specter had brought light to a darkened world. The first battle was won, but the mission was far from complete. The human drama, the tension, and the courage that defined this operation would continue to unfold, and every step forward would be a testament to the unwavering pursuit of life amidst the chaos of danger. The corridors of the MV Horizon seemed endless, steel walls echoing the tension that had been building for hours. The rescue team moved with measured precision, every step deliberate, every breath controlled. Commander Armin Rizaz's eyes swept the corridors, alert for the faintest hint of danger, for the whisper of movement that could indicate a threat. The ship, once a vessel of routine and quiet labor, had become a stage for human courage and desperation, a place where fear and bravery collided. Hostages clung to each other in tight clusters, their faces pale, eyes wide with lingering terror. Yet within them, a fragile thread of hope had begun to weave itself. They had seen courage firsthand, the quiet, deliberate bravery of the shadows who had descended from the depths of the ocean to bring them back from the edge of despair. Captain Navarro moved among them, guiding them to safer zones, offering words that carried authority, compassion, and reassurance. "You are not alone. Stay together. Trust in those who have come for you. We will get through this." The pirates, realizing their control was slipping, had gathered their remaining forces. Their leader, older and hardened, paced the bridge, rage and desperation flashing across his face. He barked orders, trying to regroup, to instill confidence where none remained, to reclaim dominance over a ship that had begun to slip through his fingers. Yet every action they took was met with the calculated precision of the rescue team. The balance of power had shifted, and the pirates were acutely aware that the shadows moving within their vessel were not ordinary opponents. Armin signaled the team to move toward the bridge. Malik adjusted his grip on his weapon, eyes sharp, scanning every doorway, every corner, every potential trap. Leo tightened his vest, heart racing but controlled, ready to protect hostages or neutralize threats as needed. Sarah continued to coordinate from the center, guiding movements, interpreting signals, and ensuring that every step was supported by intelligence and planning. The first contact in this final phase came swiftly. Two pirates emerged from a side corridor, weapons raised. The team reacted instinctively. Malik neutralized one with a precise maneuver, while Leo tackled the second, ensuring the hostages remained unharmed. Every action was deliberate, honed through years of training and countless simulations, yet executed with a natural fluidity that belied the danger surrounding them. Armin advanced toward the bridge. Each step was calculated, every moment a delicate balance of caution and decisiveness. He knew that the pirate leader was not just armed but cunning, capable of unpredictable moves. The stakes were at their highest. Inside the bridge, the leader's eyes widened as he realized the team had reached him. For the first time, doubt flickered across his face, a crack in the facade of dominance he had maintained for so long. "Drop your weapons," Armin commanded, voice calm but authoritative. "This ends now. No one else needs to be hurt." The pirate leader hesitated, rage and desperation warring with the knowledge that he had been outmatched. His hands trembled slightly over his weapon. In that moment, time seemed suspended, a fragile balance between aggression and surrender, between life and death. Armin's eyes met his, unwavering, conveying both warning and opportunity, the chance to end this with minimal bloodshed. Outside the bridge, the remaining pirates, realizing their leader's hesitation, faltered. Their confidence shattered, their organization crumbling. They were vulnerable to the coordinated precision of the team. Malik and Leo moved to secure the outer corridors, neutralizing threats while ensuring hostages remained protected. Sarah guided each step, maintaining the team's situational awareness, anticipating movements, and communicating the flow of information that made the difference between survival and tragedy. Within the bridge, the standoff reached its peak. The pirate leader, cornered yet still defiant, raised his weapon in a last act of desperation. Armin's team reacted instantly, disarming him without causing harm, subduing him with the precision of trained professionals. The threat was neutralized. The ship, once overrun with chaos, was now under the control of those dedicated to preserving life. The hostages, seeing the pirates subdued, began to exhale the tension that had held them captive. Tears of relief, gratitude, and disbelief mingled on their faces. Captain Navarro moved among them, offering words of reassurance and guidance, helping them navigate the shock and fear that had gripped them. "You are safe now," he said softly, voice carrying both relief and empathy. "You have endured. You have survived. Let this moment remind you of the strength within you." The young sailor, clutching the photograph of his child, finally allowed himself to breathe fully. The weight of fear lifted slightly, replaced by the fragile yet undeniable presence of hope. He looked at Armin and his team, recognition and gratitude shining in his eyes. He understood in that moment that courage was not a matter of age, experience, or position. It was the willingness to act for others, even when fear threatened to overwhelm. Armin and his team moved systematically through the remaining sections of the ship, ensuring every corridor, every hold, and every hiding place was secure. The pirates who remained were subdued or surrendered, their attempts at resistance met with precise control. The operation, while fraught with danger and emotional intensity, had succeeded through discipline, courage, and the unwavering commitment to protecting life. Above deck, the crew gathered in safer zones, the immediate threat removed. Captain Navarro addressed them, his voice carrying the weight of authority and the warmth of human empathy. You have survived through courage, through patience, and through trust in those who came to guide you. Remember this, hope is never lost and bravery can take many forms, seen and unseen. The team regrouped, sharing a brief moment of acknowledgement. They had faced fear, chaos, and danger, yet their mission had been accomplished. Each member understood the emotional weight of their actions, the lives preserved, the trauma mitigated, the hope restored. Malik checked the team's equipment. Leo exhaled, feeling the release of tension that had gripped him since boarding, and Sarah reflected on the precision and humanity that had guided every decision. In one quiet corridor, Armin paused. He allowed himself a moment to reflect on the journey, the risks taken, the lives saved, and the profound responsibility inherent in their mission. This was not a victory of power or dominance, but a triumph of human will, courage, and compassion. He thought of the young sailor, the families, the crew, all who had faced terror and survived because others chose to act selflessly. The horizon, once a vessel of vulnerability, now stood as a testament to resilience, bravery, and human solidarity. The storm of confrontation had passed, replaced by the calm that follows decisive action. The hostages, guided by Captain Navarro and the rescue team, began to move toward secure zones, their faces illuminated by relief and the quiet awareness that they had witnessed courage in its purest form. Armin looked at his team, a silent acknowledgement passing among them. They had fulfilled their mission, yet each understood that the emotional and psychological weight would linger. Courage and humanity were not fleeting. They left imprints on both those who act and those who are saved. The horizon was a living reminder of the power of deliberate, compassionate action in the face of human threat. Outside, the ocean stretched endlessly, indifferent to the drama that had unfolded. Yet within the steel walls of the horizon, lives had been preserved, courage had been witnessed, and hope had been restored. The young sailor held his photograph close, understanding that even in moments of terror, human connection, bravery, and selfless action could illuminate the darkest situations. Captain Navarro addressed his crew one final time. You have endured the unimaginable. You have faced fear and survived. Let this experience remind you of your strength, your resilience, and the enduring power of hope. Never forget what has been achieved here today. Armin's team, having completed their mission, prepared to exfiltrate. The final confrontation had tested every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage. They had faced fear and chaos, yet their actions had been guided by precision, humanity, and the unwavering dedication to protect life. As they moved toward the boarding points, the team reflected on the human dimension of their mission. Every hostage had a story, every act of bravery mattered, and the bonds formed in moments of extreme tension were unspoken yet profoundly felt. The operation had been a testament to the power of courage, preparation, and compassion under fire. The MV Horizon now stood, not as a symbol of vulnerability, but as a vessel that had survived human threat through the courage of its crew and the rescue team. The pirates had been subdued, the hostages secured, and the storm of terror overcome. Yet the echoes of fear, bravery, and humanity lingered, etched into every corridor, every hold, and every life that had been touched. The ocean outside was calm once more, waves glinting under the soft light of dawn. Armin looked back at the ship, knowing that the mission had not only saved lives but had restored faith, courage, and the profound belief that even in the darkest circumstances, humanity could prevail. And in that moment, the shadows of the specter were no longer invisible. They had become a light of hope, a reminder of the resilience of life, and the enduring power of courage, humanity, and selfless action. The sun rose slowly over the horizon, painting the waves with golden light that danced across the steel of the MV horizon. The ship, once a stage for chaos and terror, now carried an air of quiet relief. The pirates had been subdued, the hostages secured, and the rescue team had completed its mission with precision and humanity. But the echoes of fear, courage, and survival still lingered in every corridor, in every breath, in every heartbeat aboard the vessel. Captain Navarro moved among his crew, observing the faces of men and women who had faced the unimaginable. Some were pale, still processing the terror they had endured. Some wept softly, tears of relief, gratitude, and release mingling on their cheeks. Others simply held their loved ones close, silent, absorbing the reality of survival. Navarro's voice, calm yet resonant, carried through the corridors. "We have survived this ordeal together. Remember this courage, hold it close, and let it guide you in the days ahead." The young sailor, clutching the photograph of his child, looked around him with a mixture of disbelief and gratitude. He had faced moments of fear so profound that they had nearly paralyzed him. And yet, through the presence of the rescue team, the calm authority of Captain Navarro, and the quiet courage of his fellow crew members, he had endured. He allowed himself a long exhale, the weight of terror giving way to the fragile relief of survival. Armin and his team moved through the ship one last time, ensuring every hostage was accounted for, every corridor secure. Malik checked the equipment, making sure nothing had been left behind. Leo, now calmer, observed the crew, understanding the profound impact of their presence. Sarah ensured communications were clear, documenting the operation, and confirming that the horizon was ready for normal operations to resume. The hostages gathered on the deck, breathing in the fresh sea air, their faces illuminated by the warmth of the rising sun. Gratitude radiated in every glance, every word, every gesture. Families were reunited, hands held tightly, embraces long and unbroken, as if to reassure each other that they were truly alive. Captain Navarro addressed them once more. "You have endured. You have survived. Let this day remind you that courage is not absence of fear, but the will to act despite it. Cherish each other. Remember those who brought you back from the brink, and carry this experience as a testament to human resilience." Armin allowed himself a moment to reflect. The operation had tested every skill, every instinct, every ounce of courage. Lives had been saved, yes, but the deeper lesson lay in the human connections forged in the crucible of danger. Courage, fear, hope, and gratitude intertwined to create bonds that would endure far beyond the immediate threat. He looked at his team, silent acknowledgement passing between them. They had acted not for glory but for the lives of strangers, and in that selflessness they had embodied the very essence of humanity. Malik approached a young crew member, still trembling slightly from the ordeal. "You did well," he said quietly. "You followed instructions, stayed calm, and trusted us. That's what kept everyone safe." The young sailor nodded, tears welling in his eyes, understanding that courage is often quiet, measured, and deliberate. It is not always the loudest voice or the most dramatic action that matters most. Sometimes, it is the choice to endure, to act carefully, to survive and protect others. Leo observed a small child reunited with her parents, her face bright with relief and innocence restored. He felt a quiet warmth, realizing that the moments of terror had given way to moments of connection, moments that reminded him why every risk, every operation, every act of preparation mattered. Courage had a ripple effect, touching lives in ways both immediate and enduring. Captain Navarro gathered the crew on the deck for a final address, the ocean stretching endlessly around them, calm and indifferent yet witness to the extraordinary events that had unfolded. "This day has tested us all," he said, voice steady and resonant. "But it has also reminded us of what is most important: life, courage, compassion, and the strength to endure. Remember these lessons, carry them in your hearts, and let them guide you through whatever challenges come next." Armin's team prepared to depart, their mission complete. They had faced danger, chaos, and uncertainty, and emerged with the lives of many preserved. The crew of the Horizon watched as the shadows that had brought them hope and safety moved toward the boarding points, ready to return to the depths of the ocean from which they had emerged. Gratitude was visible in every gesture, every glance, every tearful nod. The young sailor approached Armin, extending the photograph of his child. "Thank you," he whispered, voice trembling. "You saved more than our lives. You gave us hope." Armin accepted the gesture, nodding solemnly. "It is our duty to protect life. Your courage in facing this made it possible. Remember it." The young sailor smiled faintly, a fragile light of understanding and relief reflecting in his eyes. Captain Navarro oversaw the transition of control back to the Horizon's crew. Systems were checked, security restored, and operations slowly returned to normal. Yet the memory of fear, courage, and survival lingered, etched into every corridor, every railing, every life aboard. The lessons learned in moments of extreme danger would endure, shaping the crew in ways both subtle and profound. As the rescue team departed, the ocean embraced them silently, waves glinting under the soft morning sun. The USS Spectre disappeared into the horizon, shadows once more, leaving behind the lives they had touched, the courage they had inspired, and the hope they had restored. The crew of the Horizon watched, hearts heavy with gratitude and relief, understanding the rare and profound gift they had been given: survival through the selfless bravery of others. In the aftermath, the young sailor held his photograph close, reflecting on the ordeal. He understood, in a way words could not fully express, that courage and hope were intertwined, that humanity could endure even in the face of terror, and that the bonds forged in moments of crisis could illuminate a lifetime. His hands trembled not from fear, but from the profound weight of gratitude and understanding. Captain Navarro addressed the crew one final time, the sunlight glinting on the waves, a soft breeze carrying away the remnants of tension. "Let this day remind us of our strength, our resilience, and the enduring power of compassion. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act for others despite it. Never forget this. Carry it forward." Armin and his team, now far above the horizon, looked back one last time. The mission had been completed, but the impact of their actions would endure in ways they could not measure. Lives saved, hope restored, courage witnessed, humanity preserved. It was a reminder that the shadows in the depths of the ocean were not merely instruments of action. They were beacons of life, courage, and enduring human connection. As the sun climbed higher, illuminating the horizon and the calm seas around it, the crew and the rescued hostages began to share quiet moments of recovery, conversation, and reflection. Smiles slowly returned, tears of relief were wiped away, and the bonds forged in fear and bravery began to strengthen into enduring connections. The ocean remained vast and indifferent, yet within it, humanity had triumphed. The crew of the Horizon, forever changed, had endured, survived, and grown. And the shadows that had emerged from the depths would continue their silent vigilance, ready to protect life, to inspire courage, and to act selflessly wherever darkness threatened. In the hearts of those rescued, and in the memory of those who acted selflessly, the story of the MV Horizon would remain, a tale of courage, humanity, and the enduring strength of hope amidst the fiercest storm. And as the waves lapped gently against the ship's hull, the ocean carried forward not just the vessel, but the echoes of bravery, compassion, and the unyielding human spirit.